Hey UX designers, have you ever wondered what the core skills, the most important skills for a UX designer are? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about the top skills every UX designer should always be mastering. Hi there, I'm John Dial and I'm here to help you improve your design and UX creative abilities. Let's jump into this topic. Before we jump into the specific UX skills, I think there's an important distinction to make. There are two skills that we could look at from UX designers. And it actually comes right from the name. There are UX skills and there are design skills. Now, design skills are going to be common across designers in all industries. They are things that are not specific to UX, but they are things that are specific to the methodology and the discipline of design. Now, those we're not going to talk about, but you can find those in another video over there if you're interested. But I want to shift the conversation away from just design skills over to UX specific skills, because when you start to master UX specific skills, these specific skills in this way, your career can really take off, and your mastery of UX and the kinds of products you're able to design are going to be fantastic and heads and tails above others. I do want to recognize two major influences in my thinking here. First is that Jared Spool has a great article out on how to measure the success of your design team, how to measure UX in general. And I'll link that in the description below. And some of the skills that he's listed, I've actually brought in and pulled into this discussion as well. You can also check out another article by Nielsen Norman Group where they list out several different key skills for UX design as well. And both of them sort of overlap and they talk about several of the same ones. And those two authors have definitely influenced my thinking on this, and they've given me a lot of groundwork. But I want to make sure that you have a solid set of skills, a good framework that you can look at, evaluate yourself, evaluate your work, and find areas of improvement in the domain of UX design. What are these UX specific skills that as we begin to master and do more and more of, it's going to put us in a position where we can design better and better experiences for people? So let's dive into those right now. Number one, user research. You might think that's basic. You might think that's the foundation of everything we do, but it is an important skill that we all need to be mastering. User research ranges from a wide variety of things that we can do. And I really believe that every UX designer needs to be not only involved in user research, but also practicing it, even if you have a user research team or a user researcher on your team to help you with these things. User research is really just understanding how design solutions fit with problems and how problems actually impact the user's life. Now, it's my personal belief that UX designers should be deeply involved in user research in every aspect of the research. There's nothing like watching someone use your brand new idea, your brand new experience, your brand new prototype live. I mean, there's just nothing that compares to that. It's exciting, there's drama, and it's wonderful. And it's great to watch people fail so that you can make your experience better. You can make your end solution better. UX designers shouldn't only be involved in the testing and observing of the test, but also in thinking about the kinds of questions you're going to ask, the kinds of situations that users are going to be using it in. And what's great about that is that this forces designers to think more deeply about the kinds of solutions they're generating, the problems their users face, and how both of those fit together. So number one, user research, the centerpiece of what I believe to be a core UX skill set. Number two, visual design. Now, visual design is going to completely fall apart if it's not built and supported by the other skills, but visual design can also really degrade the great work that happens underneath and around visual design. So your UI needs to be not only usable, and your task flow needs to be not only short and achievable, but it also needs to be aesthetically pleasing. Because we live in a world where there are a ton of apps and a ton of wonderful experiences out there. And if your visual design doesn't really reinforce all the work that's going in underneath of it, it actually begins to degrade the experience in harmful ways. So user experience designers need to also understand how to choose typefaces and how to match colors and how to use proximity and contrast and all these other things in their interfaces to ensure that these are aesthetically pleasing, they look good, and they feel good to customers as they interact with them. Number three, UI design. Now, UI design is different from visual design. Visual design is understanding how to make things beautiful, how to make them aesthetically pleasing, how to infuse things with brand. UI design, on the other hand, is creating interfaces that are functionally usable, that people look at them and understand them and aren't overwhelmed by them, but they can clearly see the kinds of actions that they need to take. So this is where usability testing comes in. And going back to number one, user research, we're going to be testing these ideas out and making sure that the UIs are functional. So UI design is very important because without this, we can really create beautiful experiences that functionally just don't work because there's too much there or the wrong affordances aren't available and things just kind of break down. So solid UI designers are going to have a deep understanding of what it takes for customers to be able to engage with the elements on the page in clear and concise and impactful ways. Number 4. Information design. Now, in this world where we have banking apps that show how much money we've made over time or the current status of our accounts, we have fitness apps that show the kinds of progress that we've made in our goals, all really take advantage of this idea of information design, being able to display information in a way where users can look at it and quickly understand not only the information, but how that information relates to other information. So information design is very critical and is really a deeply connected skill to UI design because it's going to help you display information in clear and concise ways that are easily understandable in a short period of time. And really that's critical in the world of UX because often we're on our phones or tablets or just pulling up a website very quickly, and the quicker people can understand the information, the better. Number 5. Interaction design. This is moving now beyond sort of that surface layer of visual design and UI design and information design into the world where you're seeing users and systems and they're interacting together. These are the kinds of situations where you can begin to understand the shortest path to completion for customers, the smallest amount of clicks it takes to accomplish a goal. Interaction design deeply understands the systems that are underneath the experience and the user engaging with those systems. It really helps translate the UI to the system and the system back to the UI. And it does a lot of the interference work to make super complex systems seem very, very simple to the customer. So good interaction design is actually going to hide a lot of system complexities in a way where customers feel like it's just super easy and it's a breeze. Number 6. Information architecture. Now, this is really the structuring of information. It's the ability to take information and make it make sense for customers, make it make sense for users, and make it make sense for the business that's using it. It sees information that's out there, information that's at play, and is able to take it and structure it in ways that fit the mental models of the people who are going to be interacting with it. Oftentimes, this is going to manifest itself in the way that information is submitted in forms, or the way your main navigation works in your website, or the main pillars that undergird the entire app, or in the variety of different ways that information is manifested to customers. And it's different from information design because information design is often the presentation of that information. Information architecture is the structuring of the information underneath of it so that it makes sense and fits the way people think. Lastly, number 7, it's a good number to end on, UX strategy. Now, UX strategy is probably the most ambiguous one, and it's the one that I'm still learning the most about. Now, UX strategy feels nebulous and it feels ambiguous, but essentially when you boil it down, a strategy is a set of criteria that helps you make decisions. It helps you know when to say yes and when to go and do something. So in the world of UX, strategy can range all the way from trying to understand customers' goals and defining how it fits in the marketplace, all the way down to design systems, all the way down the approach to how we regularly play out different contexts for customers. So that could look anything like a value proposition canvas to a full-blown design system spec, all the way down to patterns that have been designed and put into place so that the strategies are consistent across all the different touch points in your ecosystem. So there they are, the 7 critical skills that every UX designer needs to be understanding for their discipline of UX. Now, there are more skills that are out there, and you can always add those kinds of skills to your toolbox. But UX design really relies on user research, visual design, UI design, information architecture, interaction design, and UX strategy to really do the kind of work that we do every day. And so the more we can refine and hone these skills, the better we're going to be. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It lets me know what you've enjoyed and what's been helpful for you. And if you want to find more content like this to help you grow your design and creative abilities, whether just improving your design skills or your UX skills, make sure to check out this video here or this video over here. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support. Go make something incredible today and check out one of these skills and see how you can improve your design work. Thanks for watching.